6.6. This tire weighs 36.6 before being cut. What's up, guys? This is a 1650 from Sand Tires Unlimited. We're trying to take down as much weight as possible. Thanks for joining on. So, not sure if you're not familiar with these are tires used for the sand on buggies and side-by-sides, sometimes trucks, other vehicles. They're a really lightweight tire. It's a true 4-ply tire, so it still has a really good structure. They're strong. You can see here on these marks in the middle, these used to be paddles, and they straight out of the mold, when they get pulled out, they have 2 different size paddles. These are the bigger ones that are left on. Most of the time, this tire in particular, if you're not familiar with them, the 1650s are used usually for racing or kind of mid-size buggies. They're a 32-inch tall tire. They hook up and go. They work really good. This tire weighs just over 36 pounds. Before I cut it, I'll throw it on the scale as soon as I'm done to see how much weight we drop. Our goal here is to lose as much weight as possible without going into the cords. We want to just be right on top of the cords. As you can see the lines, but we don't want to cut into them. So it's a very fine process. As you can see behind me, I got my heaters. We'll heat up the tires, get them to the right temperature. And if they're the right temperature, it's pretty easy to cut. It's just a matter of feeling the right depth as you go. There are no guides, there are no depth setting or anything. It's just totally done by feel. Comp cutting's been around for a super long time. In fact, before there were paddle tires, guys would take old race slicks and then take hot knives like this, what I have, and they would cut grooves into the big old slicks, giving it kind of a paddle style look or a knobby look. And those great big grooves would allow sand to get in and obviously give it kind of a similar effect. But for the most part, as long as you had a wide enough tire, it would float on top of the sand. And that was the key. And then in late 60s, Dave Beckett came around, started Sand Tires Unlimited, and he made, I think the first tire he ever made was the Monster. And it was basically, it was like a big slick with custom tread on it, and he even engraved into it the Monster, so when it rolled through the sand it would leave that. And then after that he came out with the 1300 paddle-a-track, the OG sand tire. And that sand tire probably, I'm not for sure, but it probably holds the most world records as far as sand racing goes. What up, dude? Anyways, the Paddle-A-Track 1300 is still a super popular tire. I know Sand Tires Unlimited sells a lot of them. Most of them will go to the smaller horsepower or mid horsepower Can-Am X3s, old school sand cars. And I've even seen them on some of the smaller pre-runners like Toyota pickups, like the old 90s and 80s Toyota pickups. I've seen them on a few of those and they work really good. And then after that, the rest is history. Now we've got, and that tire was about, what, like a 29 to 30 inch tall tire. I believe it's a 30. I still run the 1300s. I have a mid-travel Mazzone sand car that has some 1300 pluses on it with the number 2 paddle. And they're a blast, man. They slide, they're fun. Anyways, these ones, there's a handful of guys that put these 1650s on Pro Rs. After they're boosted and they're making a lot more power, there's a lot of the guys, once they're getting around the 450 to 500 horsepower range, is usually when I see them go to the 1650 or the 33 Sandblaster. That's another really good tire for the Pro R once you're up at that power range. Each tire, once they're heated up, tires take anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes to cut. And the heating process usually takes 35 to 40 minutes to heat up on average. Just kind of depends on the tires and depends on if you get your heat cycle correct the first time. Almost done with this one. We'll pull it off and see what kind of weight we lost. Tire's getting cold. It's getting harder to cut, which is expected. This is the very last pass, or at least section, I should say. Oh man, that's hard. I'll give it a once over. Getting cold. Okay, that's all done. Let's pull it off and see. We were 36. Just over 36 pounds. So now we're gonna pull it off, weigh it, see what we got. Got another 1650 after this, then a set of big T-bows. Then I've got some 1450 dunes, or 1450 17 Dune Sports. Not a very common tire to comp cut. .28. So 36 down to 28 pounds. Nice. 8 pounds. 8 pounds off, not bad. How are we doing over here? Yeah, feel free. I mean, obviously I might not see your comments immediately because I got to focus on what I'm doing, but I'm happy to answer any questions as we go. And unfortunately, I was using my phone, which I'm using now, to play my music, and there's no music now. So that sucks, but anyways, that's all right. I might be able to make a makeshift antenna somewhere. Give me 1 second. Might be able to make an antenna out of here real quick, so this isn't such a boring deal. Anyways, whatever. Okay, next tire up is another 1650. They're hot and ready. Oh yeah, she's ready. A little smoky. These 1650s are tough to get on. This is on a 10-inch wide wheel, so it's got to squeeze on there pretty good. I'm gonna move you guys closer so I can see your comments and answer questions as we go. There we go. Should be able to see that a little better now. Up close. So usually the first question I get asked is, so how do you set the depth? There is no depth. It's all done by feel and by sound. And you probably can't hear it, but there's these tiny little clicks or flicks. And I'll show you the next one I cut. If you listen, maybe you can hear it. Sounds like almost like if you're in a car driving on the freeway and you run over those road markers and up close, you can see it's just right up against the cords. And that sound is just, that's what you're looking for. And it's very, very fine, because if you barely lift, barely just a little bit, it puts the blade down and it will cut right into those cords. And then it sounds like tearing. And if you hear tearing, you try to stop as fast as you can. Tilt it back up. There's nothing you can do. It's already in. But luckily, it only goes a layer at a time. And what's great is, these sand tires unlimited, they're one of the very few sand tire options out there that are a true 4-ply tire. So what's nice is all their competitors, all the other companies out there, they'll make most of their tires, they make them in a 2-ply, and then they add extra rubber to compensate, and then they can put on the side of their tire that they're 4-ply rated. Well, the nice thing is, even if you cut into the first layer of cords, which isn't something we like to do, but on occasion it happens, since it's done by hand, there's usually a spot or two that just barely nick in. Anyways, you still have more plies comp cut than you do on any other brand for the most part. You still have a whole extra ply thicker, if that makes sense. So it helps out. And what's nice is there's no, I mean, you're not gonna get a lighter tire. Even buffed tires, I've had people, oh, buff, they take it down pretty far. Yeah, they take it down pretty far, but not far enough. In fact, they have to have a certain requirement of rubber in order for the paddle to adhere to it. They can't do it to the cords. So there's always gonna be extra rubber. If you're comparing a molded tire to a buffed tire, you're always gonna have more rubber on a buffed tire than you will on a molded tire for that reason. And there's been a handful of buffed tires that have been comp cut. It's not something that's recommended, but it's doable. And it kind of shows the point of, you know, how much rubber is actually on them. And with that being said, I got no beef against the buff tires. They work, and they work okay, but you know, there's multiple reasons why I've always stuck with Sand Tires Unlimited and Sport Tires of America. They're the same company for those of you guys that don't know. So where do you guys ride? Did you hear that one? Also curious if you could hear that little tear spot. Drop me a comment if that was something I could hear. I have some external microphones that I can connect to my phone. Maybe one of these days I'll connect it up and do some close-up so you know what it sounds like. Questions I've gotten in the past before when I do this, because sometimes I'll go to, like I've done some on-site cutting at Glamis. I did it over New Year's, President's weekend, and then I did it on some random weekends too that we just had trips planned. I get questions as far as like, you know, how much I charge, where I'm located to get it done. So I'm located up in northern Utah. We go to Glamis all the time. We go to St. Anthony. We go to Little Sahara Sand Dunes in Utah. I've been to Dumont a couple times just for duning. I've never done cutting there. When I do on-site cutting, I'll cut for customers just because you obviously already have the tires. But outside of that, I usually just work with dealers of Sand Tires Unlimited. So if you have a Sand Tire dealer that you work with or get all your stuff through, you can let them know you're interested in getting comp cut. Tell them to reach out to either Sand Tire Basics or Hp.Habits, either one. Both of those are me, and we can get them taken care of. I live right down the road from Sand Tires Unlimited, so when it comes to dealers, I'll actually, whenever they put in an order that they want to have tires comp cut, I'll just go down. They'll let me know when they put in an order. I'll go pick up those tires. I usually cut them overnight or on a weekend like this. And then as soon as they're finished up, man, I take them, drop them back off, and then they get shipped as normal. So you can buy them brand new like these. These are all brand new. Just got picked up the other day from STU, and I'll drop them off on Monday. These are headed for Arizona. You can get tires at Price Designs. If you're in the Phoenix area, Price Designs, they stock comp cut tires, and they also can help you figure out the right tire size that you need for your side-by-side or buggy. Cade's a good dude. He's very active in the dunes and knows his stuff. And he always takes care of his customers, top notch. And then, so that's Arizona. Phoenix area, if you're in Yuma, or if you just get your stuff through Yuma, you can go to IPS Motorsports or 928X Motorsports. Down at Glamis, you can always go to Gilmore's. Obviously, we're in the off season right now, so they're not located there right now, but over big holiday weekends, they will be. And we're planning on doing Camp Razor with Gilmore's. I'll be out there. Gilmore's is awesome. And if you're usually the guy that, you know, in a rush, trying to make the trip, don't have time to get new tires or buy them already done, take them to Gilmore's. Gilmore's can dismount your tires. That way I can cut them because I have to mount it onto mine. Part of the heating process. And then as soon as they're done, get them remounted. Right back onto your car. just takes about an hour and a half because of the time it takes to heat up the tire and then the time it takes to cut, especially if you're getting a full set. Over New Year's, we had a few guys brought all 4 tires. It was cool, man. They dropped a lot of rotating mass, line it up a lot faster. It's starting to warm up out here in Utah. I was just down in Glamis a couple weeks ago, and it was 102 degrees on our second to last day there. Man, it was hot. We did a lot of hanging out in camp, go down to the canal, dip in, fresh off, you know. It's great. Still a good trip. We were one of 3 camps on Gecko Road. Only 3 camps on the entire road. Ain't nobody out there that hot. Now we're switching over to dune season up here in Utah, Idaho. We might find ourselves up in Oregon this year. We'll see. Nothing too exciting about comp cutting. It's just long. Take your time, no rush. You want to be smooth. Because like I said, this is a hot tire, hot knife, super hot blade or sharp blade. All done by feel. Very easy to screw these up. Oh man, I hate that. There we go. Last pass. We'll take it off and see what it weighs. And then the big T-bows are up next. You want to show. The big T-bows usually give me some struggle, just because that's usually on a 6 to 8 inch wide wheel is what you mount those on, and this is 10, so super narrow for the 1650, but very wide for the big T-bows. They're hard to mount on here, and you got to do it fast while it's still hot. However, big T-bows are the most satisfying to cut. They look so good, and there's so much rubber that comes off of them. Okay, that tire's all done. Here, I'll give you a show. Not bad. Got a little digger there and one there at the exit, but didn't even go through all the way. It skimmed the first top layer. Look at those. Okay, let's see what it weighs. Okay, we get this dismounted and then I'll show you the weight too. Just kidding. Okay. There we go. Oh, messed it up. Hang on. There we go. 28.8. Not bad. Again, those tires usually weigh between 36 to 37 pounds before their comp cut. So a nice little 8-pound drop. Okay, we got a tire smoking. It's ready. Get a quick drink before I start up these big T-bows. Okay. All right, we got big T-bows up next. These tires I've got to put sticks in. You'll see. I got to put sticks in them to stretch them out or widen them, not stretch them, but keep them wide, since they're made for 6 to 8 inch wide wheels. They're really hard to put on this 10-inch wide wheel. So while they heat up, I got sticks in them, and that makes them so they're set out. It'll also make it easier to mount for the guy buying them, but here we go. There's your sticks. All right, now let's hope they did their job. Uh-oh. Not off to a good start. There we go. Might have to use the strap. This is the not so fun way of doing it. Like I said, people always give a show because they're not easy to work with. Where's my other glove? Sorry guys, bear with me. We're almost there. We're gonna smack it. sticking around. I know it's not fun. These big T-bows are tough to work with. But now we're on. Okay, big T-bows coming right up. Okay. Look at that. That's a lot of rubber. These big T-bows are thick. Hey bud, what you doing out here? Oh yeah? You guys having fun inside?
Yeah, but did you open the door for me?
Oh,
Did you open the door for me?
maybe in a minute. I gotta finish this real quick and then I can. Got UTV invasion and UTV takeovers coming up. Almost, hang on a second, bud. So, it's usually when we get some more orders coming in for new tires, since guys are getting ready for their show builds and also for racing. A lot of guys will do, I heard this year, I haven't looked into it totally, but I think UTV Invasion is taking on their own racing, drag racing. Something about Sand Outlaws not. I need to look into it a bit, but maybe one of you guys know on here is UTV Invasion putting on drag racing this year. I know they did some last year, but they did it kind of, if I remember correctly, some of the events were in conjunction with Sand Outlaw Series, and I don't remember if someone else did, but. Hey bud, I can't, this tire's hot. I can't stop until it's finished. Give me a minute. Kid's not big enough to open the door to get back inside. Sorry, bud. Just give me a couple minutes, I'm almost done. I'm sorry, bud. He's only 4. Well, he's about to turn 4. Thank you. There you go, he got in. Okay. These big T-Bows, they're already really lightweight tires, straight out of the mold. But when you comp cut them, they get down to like, man, they drop. They drop a lot of weight. They're pretty surprising how much weight comes off these tires. I mean, they're thick, but I mean, that's a whole 1/4 inch thick of rubber coming off. So you can imagine it adds up real fast how much weight is being shed off these bad boys. Yeah, and if you're interested, reach out to your dealers. Reach out to your Sand Tires Unlimited dealers. Let's see, if you're in California, you can reach out to Harley at Fast Lab or Race Ready Products down in Chula Vista. Those are the dealers. There's a lot of dealers in California, but those are the ones that stock or carry comp cut tires. And if they don't have them, you can order them. STU has all their tires in stock, and I am 15 minutes from them. So when orders come in from dealers and they need them comp cut, this is where they come to. We'll get them squared away. Usually I can get them cut the same day that I pick them up. So the next day I'll take them back and then they get shipped just like they would if you weren't getting them comp cut. And then that way you can get brand new tires comp cut and ready to go. I've been cutting tires for 3 years, or just over 3 years now. And I started play cutting tires, which is just removing paddles and just doing some basic stuff, which was actually for Sand Tires Unlimited. Just something I did on the side to help during the busy season. Once Glamis season comes on, they're slammed, so I would help them out and cut some tires on the side. And then after a couple years, I started learning how to comp cut. It took a lot. Comp cutting tires is not easy by any means, because it's all done by feel and the tires are expensive. So practicing, you got to find some tires to practice on.
Dad,
What's up?
I need your help.
Oh, sorry, honey. With what? Put it in neutral and then try it, make sure the button is turned on, and then try to kick it. Anyways, I started doing this. What's cool is, this is something that I learned, I pretty much figured out and learned within this last year. And because I play cut tires so much, I was able to learn it pretty fast. But for the most part, anybody I know that comp cuts tires, it usually takes them about 6 months to a year to be able to get past the learning curve. And then like be good enough to cut tires and charge for it. And you know, with that being said, like there's guys that have been doing this for, you know, almost 5 years, and every once in a while you get a tire that's stubborn or the blade isn't set up just right, because if it's not, then you get patchy spots all over the place or cuts are uneven, and the only way to know is to do your first pass and find out, which sucks because sometimes it requires that, which is a bummer. But again, doing it by hand, and every tire is different. The way the rubber flows through the mold, the thicknesses from the edge, you can see how thick the shoulder is compared to the middle. It's a lot thicker on the shoulder, so you gotta be aware of that as you're coming in. So the biggest difference comp cut tires make, obviously you're taking a lot of weight off the tire, which is any rotating mass is a big, that's a massive change. Oh, you hear that one? It's a little guy. Tire's cooling down. That's into the first, so we're good. Anyways, this is doing two things. Not only are you shedding weight on your tires, but it's also lifting up the scoop just a little bit more. So not only are you making the tire easier to rotate, but you're also going to get just a little bit more hook too. So it's a twofold advantage. Can you help her start her bike?
I tried, I can't.
Why? Is it turned on? Make sure it's turned on.
Oh, how do I do
Yeah, make sure it is.
Yeah, it is. I mean.
Make sure it's in neutral too, otherwise it won't start.
Okay. That means push it down twice?
Push it down, yeah. And like make sure you can roll it. If you can roll it, then you can start it. Okay? Little Grom's tripping. Anyways, the biggest difference you'll notice in your tires after you get them comp cut is, and I always like to tell people, like, if you can run the same setup, even on a different car, just so that you know what it's like, either before you comp cut it or after you comp cut it, if you got someone that's got the same setup, same power, it's kind of cool to see the comparison. This last season, I bought a Tatum Sand Demon. I've got a video of that on here, on my page of a dune run. That car was cool because I got to run the same tire back to back, comp cut versus uncut, and just a regular play cut, and it was noticeable. It wasn't like massive. Like, it's not gonna make you the fastest guy out there, obviously, but it all adds up. When you've got, you know, modifications here and there, it all adds up. And on that car, it was pretty cool because that car only made like, I don't know, an honest like 250 horse, maybe. And I ran my regular 1450 Dune Sports during the day, and then on my night run, I switched it over to the Comp Cut version, and it was almost like my turbo lag went away. Here, let's get you some close-up looks right here. Big T-bow, got a couple diggers, but nothing bad. The first little shiner, just top layer, we're good. But the rest of it's looking real nice. And look at that, I mean, you're getting some extra paddle bite out of that. These big T-bows, they hook real good on the front end. So big T-bows, this is a 32-inch tall tire. And most guys will run these on a lot of X3s and Razors. Anyways, they look good. So we'll go ahead and weigh it. Look at this. All right, let's see. I forgot to weigh this one before I started cutting it, but the next one is a big T-bow as well, so I'll weigh it before I put it on. But let's see what it's down to. My guess is like 15. Whew. 14.6. 14.6. Okay, I'm gonna kick her bike real quick and then do the next one. Okay, next. Next one's up, it's smoking, it's ready. Let's do it. Comparison, that was 14.6 is what that tire was down to. And for comparison, before it's cut, $22. Nice. 22 pounds. This is what this weighs, straight out of the mold, straight from Sand Tires Unlimited. 22 pounds. That's a super light front tire already. Nope, can't. Not right now, hang on. Come on, stay on there. Oh, ah. That ain't gonna stick. Okay, strap it is. Okay, bear with me. We gotta strap it one more time. For this one too, it's being stubborn. Come on now. There we go. There's nothing I can do. I got a hot tire on and I've got no time. I only got a couple minutes, honey. Okay? I'll watch you as soon as I'm finished up. As soon as I'm finished up, I will, I promise. They just made a little jump out there, so my kids are trying to get me to watch. which I want to watch, but when you're dealing with hot tires, you don't have much time. So, okay, here we go. Come on, baby. It's a struggle. It's a struggle. Come on, baby. There it is. Had it. It was on it. It's a tough one. Patience. Patience, patience, patience. Alright guys, sometimes this is how it goes. Hang on, bud. Hang on, bud. Can't open the door. Leave the door open. Okay. Can you rest? There you go. We're almost there, guys. This tire is getting cold. Oh, man. Damn it. Just get it right there. All right, come on now. I have to come back to this one. Gosh, damn. Struggle. Miserable. Okay, this tire's coming off. It ain't going on. Sorry for that. Patience, man. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. This one's gonna have to get stretched out a little bit more. I never put that tire back on. guys got any questions, shoot them over in the comments. We'll be happy to answer anything you guys put on. Any questions about tires, cutting, dunes, sand cars, whatever. We'll happy to answer while we're waiting. I got a few minutes before I can pull that one off and try again, but doesn't always go as planned. You got to roll the punches, that's for sure. But anyways, go through all the dealers real quick. Go get your tires at Price Designs, Arizona. If you're down in Yuma, go to IPS Motorsports or 928X Motorsports. If you're you want to get them shipped anywhere, go to Force Turbos. Force Turbos is awesome. They're local here. They get you tires pretty dang quick. And anyways, yeah, Force Turbos, one. Rollover is another one, local here to Utah. They offer comp cut tires. Four Seasons Power Sports, they offer comp cut tires. If you're familiar with tread cuts, Robbie does a great job. He's one of the guys. He's the guy that cuts for Four Seasons and a few others. Yeah. If you got any questions, send a DM. Let me know where you're located. You can drop it in the comment as well. And yeah, we're happy to help. It's been a long video. It's already almost 20 past an hour. First time doing a live video here on YouTube. So thank you to everybody that jumped on. We had quite a good turnout on people watching. Unfortunately, like I said, we just gotta wait sometimes. It's a time-consuming. This is a time-consuming process, and it's getting hot. I'm sweating like a pig. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna jump off. I still have 3 more tires to go. I've got these. I'll show you these Dune Sports. These things are sweet. So these are the tires that you find on the Funkos. This is a 1450 by 17-inch wheel. This is a 34-inch tall tire, okay? 34-inch tall tire. And these are very, very heavy, okay? They're very thick. These tires, the way they're constructed, they are, I would almost say, the most durable tire that Sand Tires Unlimited makes. Okay, putting it on the scale for reference. These weigh 57.8, so almost 58 pounds per tire. 58 pounds per tire. The last set I did, we dropped, it was either like 11 or 12 pounds per tire comp cutting. Just awesome. Like the amount of weight that you drop off of this. And for reference, for anybody that doesn't know, when you comp cut a tire, every 1 pound of rotating mass is equivalent to 7 pounds, roughly 7 pounds hanging weight. So 1 pound, and on these tires we dropped 8 pounds. Okay, so 8 times 7 gives you your total weight as far as equivalent to hanging weight. And there was someone, I don't remember who it was, someone was telling me about for every 1 pound of rotating mass that you drop, what it's equivalent to in like horsepower. Because obviously these aren't adding horsepower, but it would be the same as a horsepower adder, just because your power to weight ratio is now being adjusted and changing. Anyways, we're up here in the mountains. Beautiful springtime. Springtime in Utah is pretty awesome. Some days surprise you with some snow. Some days surprise you with some, nice 70 to 80 degree weather. This is what we've done so far. We got 2 1650s, 1 big T-bow. I got a big T-bow I had to put back on to see if we can warm it up a little bit. It's not wanting to go. And then I've got the other 14, 50, 17 on there cooking right now. So hopefully that'll cook up pretty quick. If you got any questions, throw them down in the comments and I'll answer them as we go. But I'm gonna go ahead and jump off again. Keep doing it. See you guys later.